celebrate and honor veterans. I'm fortunate with Jolene and Sue, Bruce, we get to do that every day. But for the rest of you, happy Veterans Day. At this time, I would ask our color guard, and when they come down, I would ask everybody, if you're able, to please stand. Host colors. This time we'll have our scouts come up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you for being God of the American Revolution, Blue Star Mothers, will lead us in prayer.
Dear Lord, we gather on this sacred day of remembrance. Our hearts are filled with gratitude and reverence for the brave men and women who have served our nation with unwavering commitment. On Veterans Day, we come before you acknowledging the sacrifices made by our military heroes and expressing our profound appreciation for their selfless service. We offer this prayer with sincere hearts, mindful of the sacrifices that have paved the way for the liberties we cherish. May our gratitude be an enduring tribute to the heroes of our armed forces, past and present. Amen.
Sharon leads from example. She has 2 children that are Marines. In case you didn't know, yesterday was the Marine Corps birthday. 249 years. So at this time, I would like to invite the Mayor, our Commander-in-Chief, to come up.
This, but Richard was a Marine. Is a Marine. He never let me forget that he is a Western Marine. Good morning and thank you. Thank you not only for coming here today, but for every day. For everything they do for the veterans every day. And this is a community that, Richard and I and Julie often talk about. We say every day is Veterans Day. And I don't care if it's a call to the fire department for a lift assist because one of our veterans is falling, needs some help getting up. Somebody raising money in front of Harvard Basket for different veterans organizations. It goes on and on what this community does and gives for the veterans. And I'm just curious today, and this is not an age thing, but any veterans here, if you're 85 years or older, stand up for us, please. 85 years or older. Please stand. I did that because I often say to Larry, how old are you going to be? 90. And I often say to Larry, make sure you stay in good shape. We may need to activate you again. And that's why I have them stand up. They're all in great shape. They're a great resource. And they're wonderful treasures of our community. So thank you. All veterans, would you please stand up so we can thank you. Yes, this is your day, and every day should be yours. And thank you for everything you've done. And you've made our community so much better place. And all the stories, and Mr. Roberge, his wife, lived around the corner from me, and like my first week in office, I got a call. The veterans director at the time said, hey, we got to go down to this guy. We got to go down and give this guy some bells. And I said, really? On the way down, he said, this guy's a World War I veteran. I said, World War I? And he was Mr. Roberge's and Mrs. Roberge's neighbor. And yeah, I said, he's my neighbor. He never stopped. We never heard any of his stories. Did you ever hear of any stories? Never. He never spoke. Mr. Pizzuti, he never spoke any stories about his military. And Rich and I often, when a veteran will pass, get a chance to read their stories, and 90% of the time, I've never heard those stories. They're so precious and important. So when you think of grandkids, and your neighbors, friends don't want to hear those stories, we love them. You agree with me? Don't you want to hear those stories? They're so so valuable. Share with And I didn't know if you knew this, but Richard's going to retire. So he's very cagey about it, though, because he went out and found his replacement, and that way I couldn't talk him out of it. Very good, Richard. But I have to say, Richard, we hired Richard 20 years ago. The veterans themselves hired Richard, and you never know, right? I mean, when you hire somebody, you never know. And it's been what an experience. And him and Jolene and Sue and Bruce and all our veterans organizations. It is amazing what they do day to day. And Richard went way above and beyond my expectations serving as the Veterans Director. And, you know, there's not a veteran director that I meet in the state that doesn't know Red. And he's at the top of the league as far as their office is concerned. And, you know, and so Richard, we don't, I know this is your last Veterans Day event and you're making sure everything goes perfect, but kind of absorb it all. This is pretty important. Thank you, Richard. As Richard would say, the first time, and I know Richard from the past, he said, listen, give me everything I need, do what I tell you, and we'll get along just fine. I hope I deliver. Thank you, Richard.
One of the things you may not know is every time the mayor gets a new car, the Veterans Department gets a new car. So we're on our third car, and we're trying to break the cycle so that he gets...
While Mr. Williams is standing up there, Mr. Williams.
World War II.
Birthday was yesterday. Sure, right down front.
Yeah, this seat's in front.
Right there. Right down front.
So every time the mayor gets a new car, we get a new car. So we're trying to break the cycle so that we get the new car and he gets our old car. Jason, you have to work on that. I don't believe Congressman McGovern is here, so we're going to jump right into our next speaker, which is State Representative Natalie Higgins, who does an amazing job for our veterans.
Glad to be with you all today and to celebrate our veterans and honor their lives and all of their sacrifices. You know, I'm really grateful to get to grow up in Massachusetts, where we have some of the best veterans benefits and benefits for veterans families in the country. But this is often the time where I come to you and say, tell us what we're missing, tell us what we do better, tell us what where the misconnections are. My family has seen them and lived them. And we know that we can always do better. We can meet people where they're at and make sure that they're getting connected with the right resources. Rick, I cannot thank you enough for the work that you've done for the last 2 decades for this community and for my office. I can't imagine not being able to call you up when I have a challenge. I know that you're ready to meet it. Jason, you've got some big shoes to fill, but I know you're ready to do that. And with the help of Jolene and everyone from the Veteran Services Office, it's a really special community. I'm so glad that you all showed up today. And I hope that you'll continue with this spirit throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you, Representative Higgins. So our next speaker, our guest speaker, coincidentally is a Marine for my last time. I'm not sure how that happens. So I've been retired from the Marine Corps for 20 years. And they often say it's a small Marine Corps. And this holds true today because our next speaker, who I'm going to read his stuff off, I used to work for a commanding officer named Ken DeTrue, who was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And Colonel Fleming, our guest speaker, also used to work for Colonel in the troop. So it's a very small Marine Corps when 20 years have passed and we both had the same boss. And I'd like to think, Colonel, that I helped mold him into the Colonel he became. So Colonel Fleming is the son of a Marine. He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's a career infantryman. He enlisted in 1992. He served with 2nd Recon Battalion. And then he went to Penn State. He has been a rifle company commander, scout sniper commander, platoon commander, J3, U.S. Central Commander, FPO, whatever that is, Marine Corps University, Expeditionary Warfare School, the headquarters Marine Corps Enlisted Monitor. I have a story about the monitor. It's not a good story. Think Camp Lejeune, 2nd Marine Division, and then 29 Palms, when you didn't agree with the monitor. He's been the OPSO, commanding officer for 1, 2, 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines, 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, XO for the Afghanistan National Army, 4th Brigade, 3rd MEB, II for 1st Battalion, 25th Marines, J5, Deputy Joint Planning. He took command of 25th Marine Regiment. There are only 12 infantry regiments in the Marine Corps, and he has one of them. He's jump qualified, scuba qualified, Ranger schools, scout sniper, Iraq 3 times, Afghanistan 2 times, and he's super decorated. Colonel Fleming.
For the warm reception, and it's just so wonderful to be here in Leominster with you, just sharing such a special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, and most importantly, the Gold Star families among us. Could I please ask if you could either stand or raise your hand? The families of Captain Reynolds, United States Marine Corps, Private First Class Jonathan Roberge, and then Specialist Fourth Class Ron Freda, U.S. Army. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your presence today, and your loved ones' sacrifice echoes through time, reminding us that freedom is not free, but paid for with courage and love. So if we could, around I'd like to recognize Representative Higgins and Major Mazzarella and members of the City Council for standing alongside us and honoring these heroes. Your steadfast support ensures that our veterans' voices are heard and their sacrifices are not forgotten. Today we gather to honor those who have worn the cloth of our nation, whether they sailed the seas, or soared the skies, or stood steadfast on distant shores. Veterans have shaped America's story with courage, sacrifice, and resolve. Here in Leominster, the spirit of service is etched in our history, from the Revolution's battlefield cries to the trenches of World War I, from the storming of the beaches of Normandy to pushing back tyranny in Korea and Vietnam, and from defending freedom in the sands of Iraq to the mountains of Afghanistan. Our veterans have stood tall in every chapter of America's defense. But veterans are more than warriors. They are our teachers, They are our mentors and our community leaders. They carry a discipline of service into their civilian lives, showing us how to lead with purpose and build with a heart. They are steady anchors of our communities, the wings that lift us when we falter, and the compass that guides us towards what is right. I'm heartened to see all of the students here and the scouts. I was a scout myself, so I think my history of service started right where you are, so it warms my heart. To the scouts and students here today, I urge you to learn from the veterans among you. They are not just witnesses to history, they are its architects. Let their courage remind you of the price of freedom and inspire you to live with purpose. Just as the mayor stated earlier, let's learn from the veteran stories. And there are so many here to learn from today. Veterans remind us that freedom is not simply inherited. It is earned, defended, and sustained. It is the flame that is carried toward by ordinary men and women who, in extraordinary moments, chose duty over comfort and service over self. And to the soldiers who marched, and the sailors who navigated turbulent waters, the airmen who took to the skies, the Marines who stormed the beach, the guardians who protect our final frontier, and the Coast Guardsmen who keep our shores safe, thank you. You are the sentinels of liberty, the shield and the sword of our nation, and the soul of its enduring strength. So there are many veterans here today. Veterans like Chief Jason Maine, U.S. Navy, War on Terror, Colonel Robert Grudetsky, U.S. Navy and U.S. Air Force, Vietnam, Frank Ardinger, U.S. Navy, Commander Kevin Ducharme, U.S. Navy, War on Terror, Commander John Tata, U.S. Navy, Vietnam, Command Master Sergeant Larry McNeil, U.S. Air Force, Dick Roberge, U.S. Air Force, Korean War, Tom Welsh, U.S. Army, Vietnam, Ralph Sacramone, U.S. Navy, Vietnam, Colonel Rick Hens, U.S. Army, Vietnam, and War on Terror, Warrant Officer Darrell Hopkins, U.S. Army, Vietnam, Colonel Art Edfall, U.S. Army, and our very own First Sergeant Robert Votor, U.S. Marine Corps, Beirut, Gulf War, and Kosovo. Thank you for every one of you. Thank you for your faithful and honorable service. Today, let us honor your sacrifices, not just with words, but with deeds. Let us build a nation that remains worthy of your service. A nation united in its gratitude and steadfast in its commitment to the values you fought to defend. Thank you. Thank you, and may God bless our veterans, their families, and the United States of America.
Cemetery, Colonel, is where we have 119 Revolutionary War soldiers buried. There's a black walnut tree outside it that needs to be trimmed, and then they made a pin out of that tree. So this is from Pine Grove Cemetery. The highest concentration of Revolutionary War soldiers in Massachusetts. Right, thank you, sir. And the Colonel Roger Sergeant Major stand. So the Sergeant Major is a senior enlisted man, and it's his job to keep the Colonel on the straight and narrow, and Sergeant Major, you're doing an awesome job. All right, so what you've all been waiting for. So every year, the veterans organizations get together and they nominate a veteran of the year. And it's always a difficult voting process because we always have a lot of veterans in the running. So this year, with no further ado, Daryl Hopkins, the commander or the president of Vietnam Veterans Chapter 116, Vietnam veteran, has been awarded Veteran of the Year. So Mr. Hopkins, come on up. Veteran of the Year, Daryl Hopkins, for exceptional leadership while serving as commander of Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 116, your support of youth sports, VBA Chapter 116 scholarship program, and your many other volunteer activities is a testament to your dedication to the veterans community.
Congratulations.
And that comes with $200 in restaurant gift cards.
You can only take a green with you.
That's right. They may say, where's Rick?
Thank you very much.
So this next award we created in our office, it's called the Leominster Veteran Service Outstanding Achievement Award. And we like to give that to somebody that makes the most impactful thing in the Veteran Service Office. And so we've had some great recipients. And this year, we're proud to give it to Mulch for Military, and that was founded by Fran Richard and Gabe Nutter, and to accept for Mulch for Military, Gabe Nutter. Cemeteries, and they put a white grave guard around the veteran marker to make it look amazing. They always have volunteer days, and they're always looking for volunteers, and that also comes with a $200 Home Depot gift card.
And there's a marker, you can see them, they're white. You can't miss them. 1,000 of them they've done so far. 1,000. And let me tell you, there's some days when it's really hot this summer. Almost every day was hot this summer. And they were out there, nothing stopped them. 1,000. They worked off the donations, and that's amazing. Thank you. New website, please.
We have a Giving Tuesday that
So there you go. Doesn't get any better than that, huh? Imagine that. From Philly, come all the way out here. See what we're doing back here? All right. All because he's a Marine, that's all. He was a Marine. Congratulations.
This next award is a certificate of appreciation. I couldn't leave after 20 years without recognizing this group. Our Blue Star Mothers, Mass Chapter 1, the first Massachusetts chapter of the Blue Star Mothers. What are Blue Star Mothers, you ask? Blue Star Mothers are the mothers of veterans. So if they have someone serving in the military, that's who a Blue Star Mother is. And you never want it to turn gold. So Blue Star Mothers. So if we could have the representative from Blue Star Mothers, or all the Blue Star Mothers, however you want to do it, come up for your certificate. didn't hear, they're doing a care package drive for the troops. So if you have somebody that is overseas, I have 2 children that are in the military, one in the Air Force, one in the Coast Guard. I still talk to them. So if you have someone like that, your neighbor has somebody, let us know, and we will make sure they get that address, because then you'll get a box. So having been deployed many times in my 20 years, there's nothing cooler than getting a box from home. My wife's mother used to send me boxes before we were married. And it's just such an amazing feeling, because then you think, oh, someone from home is thinking about me. So you can help us do that. All right, so mostly everybody knows who Helen Hill was. Helen Hill's son was killed in the Vietnam War from Leominster. And Helen Hill went from hiding in her living room with her shades closed to becoming an outstanding spokesman for the veterans community. And the mayor created this award when Helen passed, and we've had some amazing, amazing people receive this award. And this year, no stranger to anybody receiving the Helen Hill Award is Jolene Constant, Administrative Assistant to the Leominster Veterans Services.
I didn't have to write a little speech. Thank you for choosing me to receive this award. I'm gonna cry, so I apologize. Tried not to cry for many months, and it's just gonna keep happening, so. Rick tried to keep this a surprise, but after all these years, nothing you do surprises me anymore. Helen Hill was a supporter, an advocate, and a caring heart for the veterans of Leominster. She was a friendly face they could turn to when others turned their backs on them. I've been fortunate to work for the City of Leominster Veterans Service Department for 9 years alongside the best mentor and VSO in the state. Rick, you have taught me so many valuable lessons in life, duty to country and community. Lessons for a lifetime. Because of you and the work we do as a team with Sue and now Jason, I have the opportunity to be the advocate, supporter, caring heart, and friendly face for veterans and their families they can turn to. Thank you all for your service and sacrifice, and happy Veterans Day.
So today we are making her an honorary veteran. Presented to Jolene Constant. Your outstanding commitment and dedication while serving as the Administrative Assistant to the Leominster Veterans Services Department. Your arduous work ethic on behalf of the veterans community was always above and beyond the call of duty, and you continue to make a difference every day. So this next thing we're doing is Lance here? Lance Perkins? No, all right, shaking his head no. All right, no. So Lance, come on up. And then I would ask a funny story about this. So Lance was making this shadow box, and his work building workshops for veterans, and they get to make an American flag, and they do it from soup to nuts. And I reached out to him because we had somebody that wanted a shadow box made for their father. So while that shadow box was in Lance's office, that veteran seen the shadow box and said, oh, I have one just like that, but this and this and this is different. So Larry McNeil, come on up to get your shadow box. He was the chairman of the VFW's Massachusetts Voice of Democracy program, and that's a program that provides high school students with unique opportunities to express themselves in a patriotic essay, and he had been doing that for over 50 years. Ann is behind us. Where's Ann? Stand up. His daughter Ann is behind us. If you want to just let me know when you leave. I had to come out of your shorts. You sure? Wow. Thank you very much.
He's ready for active duty.
One more thing for Larry, because you can never have enough stuff. So this is a Lifetime Achievement Award from the AMVETS, American Veterans. This certificate is hereby in recognition of your outstanding management with the AMVETS essay program for over 25 years. Larry used to volunteer in our office for probably 10 years, so he likes surprises also. All right, now this is a part of the program where I am no longer in control. You have an hour to stop that. All right, we are now going to have a musical selection from the Leominster Girl Scouts Troop 65 225.
Brave and strong, who served in the army. 500 card and pin. The veterans, if you just want to raise your hand, all right? Make sure you say thank you, girls.
Thank you. Thank you, Scouts. We love our Scouts. All right, now we would like to have a representative from Vietnam Veterans Chapter 116 for their presentation. Whoever that is.
We have the Bacardi Veteran Service Officer, front and center.
All you've done for us through the years, all the time you've been here, we'd like to make you an honorary Vietnam veteran. Thank you.
Member of the Naval Services. I'm also going to give the First Sergeant a coin for his bride. I don't want her to leave empty-handed. And he mentioned earlier that you have an opportunity to excel every day. He mentioned that it is the month of the Marine Corps birthday. And since he's retiring, and has some time on his hands, I just happen to have a copy of the Naval Institute current issue, which is dedicated to the Marine Corps in November.
I enjoyed every minute of it. When we first started, people said, "Are you a Vietnam veteran?" And I said, "I was 7." And you met Larry. He's the last member of the Civil War from Leominster. Larry, thank you for your service. He didn't make it to Gettysburg, but... All right, now making another surprise presentation is the American Legion. Good morning. This first award that I'm going to give is to a veteran who served veterans for many years. This one time I went to the, when I was going to Legion North Memorial Veterans Hospital, I went to the Veterans Center first. You know, I always get my rides and I usually look at the paper, check the mail. This person was in there, it's Rick Botoa. And what he told me when I asked him, when I told him, you've been here long, you know, I got here early today. He said, I was here at 4 o'clock in the morning. And he said he went to the gym and then he went back there. That's dedication. And with that, I'd like to give this award to someone that helped me out when I needed the most, Rick Botoa. To Rick Botoa of the American Legion Post 151 in recognition of outstanding cooperation and appreciation for active participation in the City of Leominster serving veterans, benefiting our country, our community, state, and nation, presented this 11th day of November 2024. Next award goes to someone that helped out everyone and supported all the veterans throughout the years. This person is Dean J. Mozzarella. Dean J. Mozzarella of Leominster City Government is awarded this certificate in appreciation of and recognition for active participation in the various events in the City of Leominster, which helped make the city what it is today. Presented by the American Legion Post 151, this 11th day of November 2024. Volunteering at the VA. He asked me if he could get a visit with this guy called Phil Hay. I didn't know him by that name, but when he told me he was a firefighter, I knew exactly who he was. And then I said, I don't know what floor, but I do know what building he's in. In 2 days, I found out where he was. And then I was able to, didn't want to visit this person, so I made reservations for him to visit with the veterans from Leominster. At that time, I think there was 6 or 7 of them. And one time there was a miniature horse there, and he was able to see it when he got there. Another time there was, occasionally he fed veterans. It didn't matter if they were from the American Legion or from the Leominster or what. He fed a few veterans. And then the other time is he brought the fire chief from Leominster over there with a brand new fire engine. So I went upstairs and I got this guy called, his name's Mark, and his brother works for the Leominster Fire Department. I brought him downstairs to the elevator, and then I brought him outside to see the fire truck. This guy thanked me 5 times. Never once did he thank me in the 5 years I knew him. So with that, I'd like to thank both these gentlemen for the service they did for the city. Thank you. been recognized by the VA for providing thousands of volunteer hours at the VA. All right, at this time, we're going to have a musical selection from our Leominster High School band. Second. The new Director of Veteran Services, Jason Bain. He's a Master at Arms Chief. That's the Navy's version of military police. Jason enlisted in the Navy in September of 1991 as an undesignated fireman, eventually retiring as a Chief Master at Arms in 2017 after multiple combat tours. While still in active duty in 2011, Jason, along with his wife, began Friends Never Forget, 501c3 nonprofit that its program Operation Camp has sent 104 Gold Star children to 87 different camps nationwide. Upon retirement, Jason returned to his home state of Massachusetts and began working for Maybe Technology, Honest, that's what it is, where he co-founded the Veteran Employment Resource Group to create a resource for recruiting, retaining, and mentoring fellow veterans both in and out of the company. In addition, Jason became a VFW Post 1807 Leominster Mass member. In February 2020, Jason was hired as the Veteran Service Officer in the town of Leicester. In June of 22, Jason was appointed the second vice chair of the Massachusetts Veteran Service Officers Association. And for the 2022 fiscal year, he was then elected as the president of the Massachusetts Veteran Services Association. And he's been awarded the Department of Massachusetts DAV Award for 2022 as the Veteran Service Officer of the Year. In his free time, that's ending. He can be found riding his Harley, camping with his wife Donna, or championing veterans charities. He was just celebrating his 25th year anniversary, and they went to Brady's. And ladies and gentlemen, the new Director of Veteran Services, Chief Maine.
I have to say that it is an honor and privilege to be your Director of Veteran Services. It's also an honor and privilege to be introduced by the guy who was your mentor for the last 5 years when I started becoming a VSO. The only words I heard from everybody was, you gotta meet this guy, Rick Motor. He knows everything, he's the guy. I realize I have big shoes to fill, but for the record, my shoe size is 9.5 and Rick's is an 8. For me, this is not a job or a career, it's a calling. I became a Navy Chief in 2011, and my only job in the Navy as a chief is to take care of my sailors. When I came back to Massachusetts, I wanted to continue my service to others, to my brothers and sisters in arms that had gone before me. The only job that was available was called being a VSO. So I am honored and humbled to be the VSO and the Director of Veteran Services in an amazing city like Leominster, where your patriotism and your love for veterans is on display every day. I have an amazing team that I know that are going to help me grow into this role and fill those shoes over there. I thank you, and I'm truly humbled and honored to be your Director of Veteran Services. And my only job is to do that to the best of my ability and to make each and every veteran in this community proud to say they have the best VSO in the state. So thank you, and I'm honored to be here.
Thank you, Jason. This is a community that will embrace you. All right, this time, you were probably sad to know our program is coming to a close. We will have a closing prayer by Sharon Bouchard, who's our mother, Daughters of the American Revolution, not to be confused with in the American Revolution.
We're going to miss that. Dear Lord, as we embark on this day of reflection and gratitude, may your presence be felt among us. Inspire in us a renewed commitment to honor the legacy of our veterans by upholding the values for which they fought. Guide our nation in fostering a culture of respect and appreciation for those who have served, and we pray for those who have suffered life-altering injuries, those we can see and those we can't. We ask that you give them your grace and help them have patience with themselves as they adapt to the changes in their lives. May we always remember our veterans' dedication and strive to support them in every way, every day. Amen.
At this time, we're going to have a rifle salute by the 15th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, followed by the towns. So please rise if you're able. ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our Veterans Day program.